Sorry, I was out of shoot. Can I get a key light, please? The Lumix S1II is an absolute monster mirrorless camera. I've been using it for over 3 months now, and I'm pretty sure I have my commercial video production rig absolutely dialed in, and that's what I want to share with you guys today. So these are 12 accessories that have transformed my video production rig. When I had the idea for this video, I reached out to SmallRig and they were willing to partner with me by sending me some gear for this video. So shout out to them for helping me out with the sponsorship so I can show you guys this cool rig. But as you'll see, not all of this gear is SmallRig. I got some special little doodads that I've had for years that have lasted me with amazing quality. So let's get into accessory number 1. This first piece of gear for our build is obviously the cage. I didn't want to show myself putting it on because that's kind of boring. And this one has some side mounting points that are actually very helpful because the cage does not move at all once you have all the screws dialed in. It feels really, really strong, but it's also minimal where you can access the camera. It doesn't block the nice cozy grip of the camera either. On the top, it has 2 cold shoe ports, which I really like because I can mount things like audio receivers, microphones, anything I can come up with that fits with cold shoe. And the hot shoe on the camera body itself is still exposed, which is great if you are one of those people that use the Lumix 32-bit float recorder that has to connect to that. Now, the first thing we're gonna attach to the cage is this side handle, which I recently got from SmallRig, and it's very interesting, but I love it. It's a super interesting design. The texture of it feels extremely comfortable to hold. It's like a blend of metallic / rubbery material, but it doesn't bend or squeeze or anything, but it's incredibly comfortable to hold. It's like the perfect mold for my hand. So I don't know if they designed this for me, but it sure feels like it. This side of the cage has a NATO rail, so I'm gonna go ahead and slide that on. Very simple design, I love it. You just slide it on and tighten this latch. Look at that, that's beautiful. This switch right here where your thumb sits, you squeeze it in like this, and then you can rotate the handle wherever you want and let go, and it sits pretty firmly in place. There's a slight bit of play there, but once you're actually shooting with it, it doesn't bother me at all. I do wish it was like perfectly solid, obviously, but it feels really nice to be able to quickly adjust and then just hold it and shoot however you want. And when you actually set the camera on the ground, it doesn't lean awkwardly. It's like the perfect height when you have it as high up as possible on the rail. Item number 3 is this cable clamp, which I think is a necessity if you want to be safe while shooting. This is what it looks like. It's gonna hold down your USB-C and HDMI, and it screws on without any tool necessary. So you're gonna wanna take this handle and rotate it like this so you have full access to your ports. Another benefit of the function of this handle for sure. Pop open your HDMI and USB-C flaps. And there's a little screw right here that the bracket will screw into. It's kind of nice that it's just a single screw design as well, so you don't have to worry about it being difficult to mount. That's all you have to do, super fast and easy. And when you go to plug in your cables, like I said, you can just rotate this handle so it's out of the way of the ports, which is awesome. But before we plug any cables in, let's put something on the bottom of this cage here. So on the bottom of the cage is this really cool little doodad that I've kind of fallen in love with. It's a V-mount battery mounting kit. It doesn't have any power solutions, but you don't need it for this rig. And I actually like that because it's incredibly minimal, but also it's adjustable. So it works with the Arca Swiss built-in plate on the cage. This receiver on the V-mount plate is Arca Swiss. It's perfect. So I'm just gonna slide this on, center it up with the lens. That's how I like it. And to tighten it down, you just push this latch over all the way to that side. No screws or anything. Now, the best part is the back plate is fully adjustable. You can move it back and forth depending on how you want your rig. I want my flip screen to be out. So what I'm gonna do, so you open up this little slider, pull this back. Brick, I gotta take it off. Okay, pop your screen out first. We've made a mistake, and that's fine. This is youtube.com. For my rig, I want this V-mount plate to be touching the EVF just to keep this as minimal as possible. And there is a little rubber guard there, so you don't have to worry about damaging it. And then obviously attaching to that is a V-mount battery. It has a specific name to it, but I'll just link everything I'm talking about below. This one's awesome because I've been filming with the Lumix S1II in some pretty intense outdoor environments with dust and heat and the potential to drop the camera and stuff. So this one's got some drop protection on it. Let's slap the battery on the rig. I love how flush it sits against this camera. It's already starting to feel more balanced. And now I'm gonna take my flip screen and just rotate it around, break it, then fix it, and then put it against the battery. I love that when the battery is flush against the camera, the screen fits on here perfectly. It kind of looks like the Caleb Pike Cineback, or it just sits really nicely. Speaking of power, we're gonna take this little USB-C cable from, I think, a Rode microphone kit that I have and use it on this rig. It's the perfect size and length. So I'm just gonna plug it into the USB-C in and out on the battery, and then I'm just gonna feed it around under the EVF, move my handle out of the way like so. Once that's plugged in, you just tighten this little guy right here and it will lightly clamp down on the USB-C cable. Now, what I like about this is I can keep a Lumix battery in the camera at all times, and the V-mount will be charging the internal battery. That way, if I need to swap V-mounts but keep the camera running, I theoretically can just unplug this, pop the battery off, get a new one, pop it on, and then plug the USB-C cable right back into one of the ports. So that's kind of nice. It will keep your camera's battery charging and running, and you get like a backup solution. But once you're done shooting, I would recommend just unplugging this from the V-mount battery so it doesn't drain the power out of the battery if you need it again later. All right, let's get to something a little bit more juicy and exciting, which is our monitor / recorder. But before that, we actually need this little monitor mount. This is also a small rig piece that I've just had in my studio forever. It's a NATO to NATO rail mount. We're really just doing some rigonometry if you think about it. So I'm just gonna slide the mount onto the top NATO rail on the cage, and then I have a little baby NATO rail on the bottom of my juicy recorder monitor here. And now the monitor recorder is on the camera, and I'm really excited to talk about this part. So this is the Blackmagic Video Assist 12G. It's an absolute beast. You don't have to use this monitor or recorder, obviously, but there's specific reasons I chose it for my Lumix S1II production rig. First and foremost, this monitor unlocks Blackmagic RAW recording from the S1II's HDMI feed. And you do have to enable this setting in the camera's menus to output raw data over HDMI so that this recorder monitor will actually read that data and give you raw performance. If you're not seeing that in your Video Assist or your camera, make sure to update the camera's firmware and also update your recorder's firmware as well so that they're working together. Once you have that setting enabled, you can record raw footage directly onto the monitor via these little SD card slots on the side of the monitor here. And keep in mind, with this Lumix S1II, you can't output raw and record internally high quality footage at the same time. You have to pick one or the other. So you need to know if you want to shoot in RAW, you'll have to use the SD cards here to record that on the monitor. If you just want to use it as a monitor and shoot internal on this, then you have to make that choice as well and turn off that RAW setting. Now the best part is you get Blackmagic's incredibly smooth user interface with this recorder. So it kind of turns the S1II into a Blackmagic cinema camera with amazing IBIS and really good autofocus. Or I can just use it as a monitor and get banging internal vlog footage or 6K open gate or 5.1K open gate slow motion. Or I can shoot internal and get airy log with the paid upgrade on this camera, which looks amazing. The colors are so good. Or I can shoot in Blackmagic RAW and then convert it to airy log in post. The options are limitless with this setup. Last thing you're gonna need for the Video Assist is this little cable right here. I promise you this is gonna make your rig so much more enjoyable to use because you won't have to use big honkin' NPF style batteries on the back here. So this little guy is just a 12 volt power to D-tap. So you just screw it in. I think I got this on Amazon for really cheap. And then the sides of the battery each have a D-tap port, which is great. I'm just kind of tucking my cables behind where the monitor of the camera would sit. And if I need to swap batteries, it's really not a hassle to unplug two things like that. Swap a battery, put it back on, skibbity goulash, we're good to go. And then obviously to get the monitor to work, you're gonna need an HDMI cable. I have this Condor Blue one that I like because it's coiled like this, so it makes it easier to route on my rig and takes tension off the ports because it's coiled. I like to wrap it around the monitor mount and then give it kind of a little bendy bend like that. Remove my side handle like I said, and then plug it into the camera's HDMI port. Gonna tighten up that bolt around the cable, just like the USB-C one. Ready to rock. Dude, this thing feels so freaking good. I love it. But we have a few more things. The next one is a microphone, and I chose this Rode one specifically because of its compact size, but still good sound quality. Reason you need compact is because if you're putting one on here with a monitor, it fits perfectly under this monitor. It's not being bent down at all. So it's not getting in the way of my rig, but I can still get really good dialogue audio if I'm up close. Okay, yeah, that fits perfect. And I still have room to bend the monitor a little bit if I need to. I don't have a good lens on the front of this camera, but I've been using the Sigma 24-70 for everything, the version 2, because the autofocus is incredible and the image looks beautiful. For ND filters, I've either been using the SmallRig carbon fiber matte box because it basically weighs nothing and it has a adjustable ND on it. But if I want to go more compact, I've been using this K&F filter. This is not sponsored. I just like this filter. It's very rugged but easy to adjust. It's 1 to 5 stops, so pretty standard. Now the last piece of this rig pie I think is underrated, and I don't see a lot of people doing this, and that's a camera strap. Don't leave yet, because this is dope. Peak Design is amazing for a couple of reasons. You get these anchors, and then the straps themselves just plug into these anchors like that. This is going to make your shooting experience, especially if you're having a long day, so much more enjoyable and less painful, because it just takes the weight off of your arms and your wrists and your hands, so you can actually focus on getting a good shot. You get extra points of contact because it's on your back. Or if you use this is the little other magical piece of these straps. If you tighten the buckle and latch it, you can hold the camera against your tummy like this and get some really stable footage because you have all these points of contact. You got 2 hands, your tum-tum, and your back and shoulders all against the camera body. And it just makes the handheld footage look way more pro, where you could turn off the IBIS and not rely on it and get that really nice, like cinematic looking handheld. This is an essential part of my rig when it comes to production work because I can shoot all day like this with heavier setups, no problem. Other than that, make sure to text me when you get home so I know you're safe, and watch out for deer. Follow me on Instagram for short and dumb stuff like this. And remember that you guys are loved much more than you might even know. You're worth it. All right, we'll see you in the next video. Bye.